Hey, hello friend. So this is the demo session on performance tuning training, Oracle database performance tuning. I have total 10 plus years of experience as a Oracle DBA, RAC, Data Guard, Golden Gate, SQL tuning, and the performance tuning. And having 7 plus years of experience as Oracle DBA trainer, so I have provided the various trainings on the Oracle database 12c, 19c, 11g. Apart from this, I have also provided the trainings on the Oracle RAC, that is a real application cluster, then the data guard, Golden Gate, SQL tuning, performance tuning. Apart from this, I'm also taking the training on the SQL and PLSQL programming and the other technologies like Microsoft SQL, DBA, right? So I almost deliver 100 plus trainings in various Oracle DBA courses with the real-time examples. Fine. So what is the scope of this demo? So what's the scope? So here we will discuss about the Oracle database architecture. Then we'll discuss about the introduction to the Oracle database performance tuning tool, introduction to the Oracle database performance tuning tools, and what is Oracle database performance tuning, and preparing for the practice environment. So this is the very basic things we will discuss as a part of the demo session. Course outline. So during the this performance tuning course, you will learn about the like how to prepare the environment to do the performance tuning of your Oracle database. The reason is like why we need to be do the this setting up the practice environment is the only reason that in a real time, whenever you are in the real time environment, so there are the scenarios from based on your application, right? Some long running queries are there, some blocking sessions are there, some like queries performing full table scan or the some performance issues that is related to database. So all those things in a real time comes automatically, means there is no such kind of manual things we need to be right. But here during this training session we need to be do these things in a manual manner, means we need to be generate the load on the database, we need to be do the generating some blocking session, long running queries, right? Some we need to be generate some issues, and then we need to be work on how we can resolve it based on the real time exam, right? So that's the reason we need to be prepared our environment, we need to be create some scripts, we need to be use some load balancer tool, right? We need to be install the Oracle database software, then we need to be create a database. So all those things initially we will do, and throughout the training we will use that load generation tool. We will generate the load on our database based on the number of user, 10 user, 5 user, 50 user. So based on that we will do this activity. After that we will discuss about the what is a Oracle database performance tuning. See, so Oracle database performance tuning is like one kind of regular work which is taken care by the Oracle DBA in a production environment or the lower environment. So what's the role here for the DBA to do the Oracle database performance tuning? So the role here is like there are some proactive approaches and there are some reactive approaches. So in terms of proactive approaches for the performance tuning is like as a DBA we have assigned the proper memory the Oracle database or not, right? Then proper PGA do we assign or not? Then based on the application logic, did we keep the open cursor parameter properly or not? Process parameter set up properly or not? Right? Then some database related optimizer related parameters we have enabled or not, disabled or not, right? So those are the some proactive approaches. And in terms of reactive approaches, let's say that there are some SQL queries which are running slow. So how we can handle this, because that is impacting the our Oracle database performance. All right. Some long running queries are there. Some of the queries are the top IO consuming queries. Like some of the queries are like top CPU consuming queries, top memory consuming queries, right? So these are the queries are there, and the top 10 frequently executing query which is doing the full table scan. So all those things comes based on the your AWR report, right? And you can just work on those queries and you can do the SQL tuning as well as. So here the main part we are going to be discuss about the performance tuning, not the SQL tuning. SQL tuning we will see very a small part. So in a performance tuning, this kind of approaches we need to be used proactive and the reactive. So as I told you, the slow running queries are there. So how you need to be handle this situation. So let's say then any blocking session comes. So as a DBA, what actions we need, what recommendations we need to be do to the application team. All right. Any of the moving running very slow. So what recommendations we need to be do to the to the application team? Because few things as a DBA we can handle, but few things we cannot handle as a DBA because that those things come from the application design. So application design needs to be changes. All right, if they are using bind variable or not, so we can suggest them use the bind variables to avoid the hard parts, frequently hard parts, which is impacting the our shed. Right, so those kind of things are there as a part of database performance tuning. Right, IO operation is slow, right? Database buffer cache size properly set or not. Right, retention policies of the AWR reports. Okay, based on your environment, 8 days, 15 days. Right, do we need to be use the SQL access advisor, SQL tuning advisor? So those things comes. What are the different types of wait events in the database? So like as a DBA, we should know the most of the wait events and say that if there is any kind of wait event, then as a DBA, what actions we need to be take, or let's say the is there any kind of wait event which belongs to the application, right? Then what actions or what recommendations we need to be do provide to the application team. So all those comes under the Oracle database performance tuning. What are the tools we need to be used as a part of Oracle database performance tuning? So you can use, there are so many, and there are so many tools are there available, but mainly we are using tool that is a OEM cloud control, or without OEM cloud control, by default the OEM comes, that also you can use for the monitoring purpose, right? That is only for the monitoring purpose. But if you want to tune your database, so what the things you required as a DBA, so you need to be take the help of AWR report, ADDM report, ASH report. Few scripts are there. So those scripts you need to be execute to check the top running queries, which process is consuming most of the CPUs. Right. So with the help of the SQL, with the help of the OEM, with the help of the AWR, ASH, ADDM, you can tune your Oracle database. Many other tools are there. So day by day in our regular sessions, we will discuss on this. Then also we will discuss about the time model statistics. So time model statistics means like which events, right, spending most of the time in a database. Like say the IO operation is spending most of the time in a database, or CPU is spending most of the time the CPU is busy, or like the memory, most of the memory is consumed by the Oracle database. So that is comes under the time model statistics, right? So this also we'll discuss in a detail. Then what are the instance activity statistics? So what the instance level activity? Okay, what are the different types of wait events are there? So we have the like scattered read, sequential read, control file wait events, right? Then lock sync wait event. So there are so many different types of wait events are there. So those also we are going to be discuss. Then using the AWR reports. So what is this AWR report? Why we require this? What is the importance of this AWR report? Then what is the retention policy for AWR report, right? How to generate the AWR report, how to read the AWR report, what are the areas we need to be focused more in the AWR report. All those things we are going to be discuss. Then we have the ADDM report. So that is called automatic database diagnostic monitor. So ADDM report, you can, this is basically the, it is using the base of the AWR report. It is using the base of the AWR report, right? So whenever you run your it, whenever the snapshots taken care, fine. And based on the snapshot, the AWR report generated, right? And after that, immediate after that, ADDM report read the AWR reports, and it start providing the findings. Okay, like this is the top most consuming query. So what you need to be do, this is like we have the SG undersize, PG undersize, some IO related issues. These are the top SQL statements. So based on that, as a DBA, we need to be take the proper actions based on the ADDM reports, right? This is not compulsory, or it is not advisable to like 100% we can follow all the recommendations provided by the ADDM. Yeah, few recommendations we need to be do the analysis from the our side, and if required, then only we need to be implement those recommendations, whatever the provided by the ADDM. Then we have the active session history. So this is also the report. So if you comparing with the AWR and ASH, so ASH, let's say there are some intermediate DB issues. Intermediate DB issues means like for only for the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? So in that case, ASH report is a useful. And why it is not useful? Because AWR snapshot is taken every 1 hour by default, every 30 minutes, right? Or every 1 hour. So you can change that frequency as well as, but it contained lots of information, right? So let's say that you have the issues with your database between 8:15 to 8:25, right? If you have the DB issues between 8:15 to 8:25, so this issue is only for the 10 minutes. Now you just want to monitor what was the issue during that 10 minutes of time frame. So we should go with the ASH report, not the AWR report. The reason being is ASH report is very much time specific, and it is giving what was the wrong during that time period. It will provide you all the queries and all the other information. So ASH is a quite useful in this such kind of scenarios. Yes, but let's say that you have the issue where the database is running slow since last 1 hour or 2 hour, then AWR is the recommended approach, right? So here this is the ASH report, AWR report, right? And the ADDM, it's the one kind of tool. Using that tool, you can just, it will provide you the one recommendations, and based on the recommendations, you can implement your those recommendations, right? So ASH, AWR, we will also discuss in a detail. Then the very important, how to tune the shared pool, buffer cache, PGA, redo. So how we can tune these things, because these are the memory components. So we need to be tune this memory component if as and when we required. Let's say some hard parsing is going on in Oracle database. So hard, if there are very high number of queries which is performing the hard parsing, then as a DBA we need to be check which are the queries are performing hard parses. If we require the shared pool to set at some minimum value, that is also possible, that we can also do it, right? So these kind of things which we need to be required as a Oracle DBA, where we need to be tune the shared pool, buffer cache, PGA. Okay, redo, if the redo is undersize, frequently lock switch occurs. So you will see such kind of wait events where the frequent lock switch occur, right? So as per the Oracle recommendation, we can have only 5 to 6 lock switch in an hour. So if such kind of lock switch occur very frequently, then also we need to be think about the increase of the size of your read log. Fine. So these are the things we will discuss in a detail, like PGA. So let's say that you have the huge temp operations are going on, and the temp table space is, even the temp table space is not enough, and the very large number of order by operations going on. So you need to be change the size of your PG as well as. So there are many other things are there. This is the one small example which I'm giving to you. So many things we need to be discussed, many different scenarios also we are going to be discussed during our regular class. All right. So these are the topics we'll discuss. And before we start all these topics, means this is just a demo session. So we will also discuss about the Oracle database architecture, right? So what are the different types of components? We have the SGA, PGA, right? then background processes, user processes, right? Server processes. You have the different components of the SDA, right? Database buffer, cache, shared pool, large pool, redo, log buffer, right? Java pool, stream pool, right? So in the shared pool, we have the library cache, data dictionary cache, right? So these are the components of the SDA. We have the different background processes, DB writer, log writer, CKPT, right? So SMON, PMON. So these are the different background processes. We have the user process, server process. So this also we will discuss during the regular class. And we will also set up the lab setup. We will also do. We will do the lab setup, and then we will install the few tools to generate the load on the database. And then we will move for the day by day regular class, where we first start with the some theoretical concept, then we will convert those things into the practice. Right, add-on topics. So apart from this, I will also cover the handling latches and mutexes and what is a row migration and row chaining. So these are the topics. Also, I am going to be cover during the your during the our regular sessions. All right. So these are the add-on topics are there. Apart from this, additional course resources. So you will get the recorded session of each class will be provided. So that will be uploaded on the drives, right? So this will be uploaded and you can refer it after the class as and when require or as and when you are doing the practices. So you will also get the daily session notes, materials, right? In the PDF or the Word file will be provided for the materials. You will also get the sample resumes, interview question answers, right? So all those details you will also get apart from your daily classes, right? So whatever the thing, whatever the topics, right, as mentioned in the course outline, each and every topic having the separate chapter which covers each and every topic in a very detail. So this details are available in the Word or the PDF file. So including the practicals, practical steps are also added in the documentations in the PDF, right? So those practical sessions we will first cover during the training, and during the practical sessions we will discuss this. And the same thing is also there in your materials, right? In your PDF or the Word file, same steps are there. So if you wants to refer the video, you can refer the video, and side by side you can also refer this PDF or Word file, and you can do the practices. Okay, we will provide you the sample resumes. All right, what are the topics for the performance tuning which you can add, or as a DPA? What are the things you need to be put in your sample resume? That also you will get. Interview question answer. All right, we will also discuss about the interview question answer during the class, post the each and every sessions. Like okay, whatever we learn, this kind of in this topics, the interviewer can ask this kind of questions, or they can twist this question in this way. So those things also we are going to be discuss. That is comes under the interview QA. So this is the during the class only we will do, right? So like let's say that we are learning about the Oracle performance tuning topic, AWR reports. Okay, so in the AWR reports, they can ask you the questions like, okay, what's the physical rate, logical rate? So which number is good? Which number is not? A high number is not good. Physical rate or logical rate. So those kind of things we will also discuss. Right. Also, as a part of project, there is a one project considering that we have the database issue, right? DB slowness issue. So the first step is, let's say that someone comes from the your customer side, or someone comes from the your application side. Okay, database is running slow. How to identify the of the DB slowness? That is a very important thing. First, identify the root cause why the DB is running slow, and then apply the solutions for that to avoid this issue permanently basis or temporary basis. All those things we need to discuss during the training, and what solution approach and how we can avoid such kind of things in the future. Is it the issues with the database design, or is it the issues with your application design, right? So all those things we are going to be discussed as a part of project after completion of all this topic, right? We will generate the loads on the database, then we will identify, okay, these are the queries are slow because of the load on the database. how to avoid this, how to reduce it, how to mitigate these issues, what are the steps as a DBA we need to be take care, or what recommendations we need to be provide to the application team to avoid such kind of DB slowness issues. Okay, what parameter related changes also we require from the database side. So this we will discuss. A lab setup. So you need a high-speed internet and also desktop or laptop you require. Operating system you require Windows 7 and above. 500 GB of hard disk, right? That is a fair enough. Minimum 8 GB RAM required, because here in the performance tuning we only require the one machine. We don't require the multiple machines, and 4 cores are fair enough. That is a minimum. So we will set up the machine on a virtual box. Right, on the virtual box, we will install the virtual box where we install the Linux, Oracle Linux 7.2, 7.4, and on top of it, we will install the Oracle database software. Right, so those things we will do during the practical, but all the softwares links I will provide you. So like downloadable links I will provide you from there, which location you can download your Oracle database software 19c. You can download the virtual box, then you can also download the putty, swing bench. These are the different softwares are there. So day by day during the regular class I will provide you this all the softwares whatever you require to install on your machine. We in SCP we require to transfer this transfer the files from Windows to Linux, Linux to Windows. So these are the all are small softwares. The major one is Oracle Enterprise Linux and Windows and the your Oracle database software 19c or 12c. Right. So these are the prerequisites for the setup. Right. Mock interview questions. So as I told you, after the training or during the training, we will discuss what kind of question asked in the interview, and the trainer will also conduct the mock interview after the training completion. So we will give you the some times to read all the topics, whatever the things we learn, and one day we will schedule the one mock interview. That during the mock interview, I will ask you the questions, few real-time questions, right, based on the what we discuss in the real time, what we discuss in the our regular training program. So I will ask you some few real time questions, and I will twist some questions, right? So which includes the performance tuning topic. So this mock interview is very important, because you can consider this as your real interview and give the answer, because performance tuning is like a one kind of analytic skill. So you should know each and everything very thoroughly. Fine. So we will conduct this mock interview after the training. We are good with our training program, as most of the things we have covered. Certification, you can give there is one certification that is called performance management and tuning exam. So 1Z0084. So this exam you can take this exam if you are interested for the certification as well as, and you will get this kind of course completion certificate, right? So that basically provided. Thank you. So thanks for attending this demo. You can share your feedback, and for any queries related to course scope, or if you want any more information related to course, or any cost of the course payment options, you can just email us on this info@mindmagics.com, or you can contact on these two numbers. One is for the India, one is for the USA. Fine. So thank you very much for joining this Oracle database performance tuning demo session. Thank you.